Octavio pause. Octavio pause. Yeah, we just want to learn and I just want to teach. I just want to teach. You guys just want to learn. So let's make it equal. All right. Raise your hand if you know this poet, Octavio Paz. Then it's a name of a person. Raise your hand. I'm curious. Are there any Mexican students here? Are there any Mexican students here? Oh, Octaviana is similar to your name, right? But this is a man. Yeah, please write, everybody please write notes. This is really great to write notes. So let me pin Yassine's comment. So Yassine has a really great piece of advice for you guys. If you're new to this class, you should have a notebook because we will learn a lot of new vocabulary today. He is a Mexican author. Renas, welcome. He's a Mexican author. Yeah, Octaviana thought I was calling her name. No, this is Octavio Paz. He was born in Mexico City. He was born in 1914. He was born in 1914. Summer, that's really cool. And he died in 1998. He actually won the Nobel Prize. Can anybody write the words Nobel Prize? Nobel Prize. And again, try not to spam the chat, you guys. Let's focus on the class. Yes, good. Nobel Prize. So the Nobel Prize it's an amazing prize that rewards people of high merit. So good question. So Mustafa asks, which field? Hi, Roshni. So he won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1990. The Nobel Prize in Literature in 1990. And somebody asked a question, do Mexicans speak English? No. What language do Mexicans speak? Does anybody know? What language do Mexicans speak? In Mexico, what is the national language? Spanish. Yanmel got it. Spanish. They speak Spanish. Exactly. So he wrote in Spanish. He wrote mostly in Spanish, but because he became so famous, many American poets and some British poets translated his work. Yes, he was a Mexican poet and a diplomat. His parents were political. I believe his father worked for Zapata, a very famous Mexican politician. Obviously, we won't talk about politics here, but his parents were very political. So he grew up in a political household, but he made a lot of his poetry not just about politics. No, good question. Zapata is not a political party. Zapata was a president of Mexico. He was a radical. He fought for Mexican rights, but also I think he was assassinated. Unfortunately, my Mexican history is not very good. Hi Shkar. Yeah, so I recommend Octavio Paz for anybody who wants to learn about Latin American literature. So of course there are many wonderful writers that come out of Latin America, but Octavio Paz, as you can see, he was a busy guy. He wrote a lot of poems. Yeah, it is complicated, so we won't talk about politics. We'll just talk about poetry. So let me quickly unpin the comment. It's good to see you too, Shkar. Yes, he was born in 1914, died in 1998. No, we're not finishing the book. Guys, if I read this whole book to you, everyone would leave this live stream so fast. All right, let's begin. All right, so this book has one photo of him. He's quite handsome. Look at this. That's him. Look at that. Doesn't he look so cool? I don't think Renas, good question. He was not assassinated. I think he just died of old age. This is him. This is Octavio Paz as a young man. Alternative for Brad Pitt, but he's Reziar. He's very, very dead. He's very dead. He is 100% dead. So I don't think I have any chance with him, but he is really cute. Yeah, he died at 84. So yeah, he's written many poems. Oh, no. Okay, so a good way to know for us, I think for Spanish names, if the name ends in an O, it's usually a male name. This is for Spanish names. So if it ends with an O, it's usually a man's name. If it ends with an A, it's a woman's name. All right, so as you can see that this was his main translator, Elliot Weinberger. Hi, Paulo. See, Paulo, for example, that's a man's name because it ends in an O. Like Antonio, good. All right, and you can see that he had other translators as well. Good, Sarah. So this is for specifically Spanish names. So I'm curious again, I know I asked this before, but I just want to know, is there anybody here who would like to be a translator of literature? I'm just curious. I know Shkar is working on translations. So Sarah, cool. So Ken, I got your hop on request, but I can't accept it right now. Not Vish, okay. Majid, yes. Yonis, Ayogu, Rezyar says it's your hobby. That's cool. I think I really admire translators. So Andres speaks Spanish and English. So I'm really excited to see what you guys think about this poetry. So obviously I'm not going to read the Spanish poetry. My Spanish is really bad. Hi Natalia, hola. So we're reading Spanish poetry, but technically we're just going to read the English version. Okay, so let's start. So he's written so many poems, but we're only going to look at 3 poems today. All right. So this poem is called El Puente. Yes, I am, Zari. Oh, I'm sorry, Zari, I didn't. Let me quickly, for anybody who's new, June, thank you. I will quickly introduce myself. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot. I was so excited about poetry that I forgot to just introduce myself, the very basic etiquette. So welcome, June. So my name is Sophia. I was born in the U.S., so some of you are asking about my background. I was born in the U.S. I'm teacher Sophia, but really I'm artist. I'm artist Sophia. I am a teacher to pay the rent. And don't worry, we will read easy poems today. So I studied poetry for 3 years, so I have my master's in poetry. So if you want to know why I'm so passionate about English, it's because of poetry. And I also teach mental health. So tomorrow, if you look at my schedule, I will have a psychology-related class for Team Panda tomorrow. And some basic rules for any of the newcomers. I cannot answer every question. I can't say hi to everyone, so please be patient with me. Welcome. All right, so let's go back to the poem. El in Spanish, good question. El in Spanish, I think this means the. So not only are we learning Spanish today, we're learning English. So el puente, it means the bridge. Okay, so I know I have some Spanish-speaking subscribers, so later on I would love to hop on somebody who speaks Spanish who would be willing to read the Spanish poem and the English poem. Yes, Majidula, I am super strict. Yeah, it's a definitive article, the. So no, I'm going to read English because I don't want to embarrass myself. But what's really cool is that there are a lot of similarities between Spanish and English. All right, so let me go ahead and read this poem. All right, and again, in your notebook, write down words that you don't understand. And I will help I will help explain the words for you. Do I have any Russian poetry? Good question, Tim. I think so. I do have some Eastern European poetry. All right, bridge. Let's go. Between now and now, between I am and you are, the word bridge. Entering it, you enter yourself. The world connects and closes like a ring, from one bank to another, always a body stretched, a rainbow. I'll sleep beneath its arches. All right, I already see some good questions. All right, let's start from the beginning. Don't worry, I saw all of your questions. All right, the bridge. We all know what a bridge is, right? Bridge, just for the shy English learners, the ones who are really shy and don't want to ask the question. Let me show you a bridge. So this is a bridge. Bridge. An arch. Yes, it is a verse, Tim. It's poetry. An arch is the shape. So an arch, it describes any shape that goes up like this, up and down. This is an arch. Arch. So it's a specific kind of bridge. It's a curve. Arch. So arch is singular. Arch. This is one arch. So you can have these kinds of arches. It doesn't have to just be bridges. You can use it in design, or in nature, like these rocks. This forms an arch. Yes, if you have to sleep, please go to sleep. I know it's late for some of you, so please go to sleep if you need to. Like a bow. But an arch specifically goes up and down. A bow is different. A bow, it doesn't matter what direction. So a bow can go sideways. This is a bow. Yeah, I'll sleep beneath its arches. Yeah, literally, Ra. I mean, obviously it's poetry, so at the end we'll talk about what you think this poem means. All right. Yes, Okesh, that's a bow. Thank you, Okesh. All right. Between now and now, what do you think that means? So I saw Razan ask, what does that mean? Between now and now. I mean, he's trying to say something poetic. I think he's just saying today, this time, yes, Sarah, today. Between I am and you are, the word bridge. Hi, Alamin. Yeah, the same time. So it's saying between you and me, there's the word, the bridge. Entering it, you enter yourself. The world connects and closes like a ring. Hi, Adriana. Closes like a ring. That's so beautiful. So ring can have several definitions. Yeah, between now and now, Tim, this is for poetry. You don't say this in, like you wouldn't say this on your IELTS exam, but you would say this in a love poem. It's a very beautiful love poem. So closes like a ring. Can somebody write, ring can have several definitions. Yeah, ring can mean a circle, but can also mean the jewelry. Yeah, he's playing with words, exactly. So this can also be a ring. Wow. It can also be a piece of jewelry. So because this is poetic, I think that's what he's trying to say. Hi, Mimi. So entering it, you enter yourself. The world connects and closes like a ring. Maybe ring on a door. You might be right, Sarah. But in this case, when you say closes, when something closes, it means the circle. The circle closes. So let's see. Ooh, let me pin Mustafa's comment. Really great interpretation. So I would love to see your interpretations, you guys. So Mustafa says, let's make a belief that he is speaking about, distance relationship. So it makes a lot of sense. Maybe it's like a long distance relationship. Yeah. Let's see. So Ra is asking, is it a poem about different situations between different people or different emotions of one person? Ooh, maybe. Hi, Janabi. Good question. Keep thinking about it, you guys. All right, let me keep going. From one bank to another, always a body stretched, a rainbow. Ooh, this is gorgeous. All right, from one bank to another. And again, Zari, the poet, is Octavio Paz. All right, so can you guys help each other in the comments? If there's a question that you can answer, please help answer the question so I don't stop class. All right, bank. What is bank? Does anybody know? And then I'll get to stretched. Thank you, Yassine. From one bank to another. River, it's a part of the river. It's the edge of a river. Couch? Not quite, not quite. So a bank is the side of a river. It's the dry part of the river. Here we go, river bank. This is it. This is the river bank. Yes, Jasmine, yes, a bank can also be a place where people save money. Yeah, it's where people have money. But in this case, when it's in nature, it's one side of the river to the other side. Here you go. So try to imagine it. From one bank to another. Ooh, good question. Rezyar and Kurdistan. All right, so they're slightly different. So Kurdistan says cliff, Rezyar says shore. They're slightly different. So Kurdistan, cliff is actually, it's a structure that is high and there's a drop. A shore refers to specifically an ocean. Yeah, a cliff is high. Let me show you a cliff. So this is bank. A cliff is high. Like this is a cliff. You don't want to fall down. You don't want to fall down off of the cliff. And the shore is for the ocean or for the sea. Shore. So this is a shore. So again, a bank, when it comes to nature, is only for rivers. A river bank. But that's a good question. All right. From one, oh my gosh, Mila, that sounds terrifying. All right. From one bank to another, always a body stretched, a rainbow. All right. So stretch is a great word. So stretched is, this is either an adjective or a verb. So stretch as a verb, when you stretch, you extend yourself. That means how to hide comments? Good question. So if you want to hide the comments, you press and you swipe. You either swipe to the, does anybody know? You swipe to the left or the right and the comments disappear. So yes, Majidullah, that's very sad. Yeah, muscle stretching, like when you're waking up in the morning, you stretch like, I'm stretching. You extend out, right? So like doing yoga, like doing yoga. Oh, Aditi, good. So I love Aditi's interpretation. So Aditi says this poem it feels to her from one place to another. My memories will be with you, your memories will be with me. So it's kind of like exercise, Jasmine, but it doesn't have to be. So you stretch when you're tired. You know, like you can stretch out your face. So I'm like, ay, ay, ay. That's me stretching. It's basically any action that pulls apart something. That's stretching. Or you can stretch your hand. Can anybody do this? Like stretch. Yeah, hola to Ecuador. So you can stretch, right? Or hi Paria. Or you can stretch your mind, right? You guys are all stretching your brain. You're stretching your mind because you're trying to expand it. You're trying to learn something new every day. So you can say, today I am stretching my mind. All right, so good question, you guys. So again, I think this is talking about the bridge, right? From one bank to another, always a body stretched, a rainbow. A rainbow. So he's basically, yeah, you can stretch your thumb. So he's basically calling the bridge a rainbow. And then at the end, so rainbow is a great, does anybody know the emoji for rainbow? Somebody type the emoji for rainbow. See if you can find it. It's really beautiful. Rainbow. No, that's random. Rainbow. Here you go. Rainbow. This is a rainbow. You guys got it. It's so beautiful. Rainbow. Okay, wait. Pop quiz. There are 6 colors in the rainbow. This is a pop quiz. There are 6 colors in the rainbow. Can anybody name what are the 6 colors in a rainbow? Oh, good. Yes, Mustafa. Thank you for that. All right, but can anybody name the colors? You have to name the colors. Oh, 7. Sorry, 7. I counted wrong. Okay. Can you name it in order? All right, but yeah, in the comment, you have to name all of the colors. Don't just write some of the colors. In the order, what are the colors? Name them all in one comment. Don't just do one letter. Look at your rainbow. Yeah, everyone take a look. There we go. Ra got it. So Ra said red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Guys, you guys are awesome. They're Googling. Mila thinks you guys are Googling. Is there a pink in the rainbow? I don't think so. I don't know. Is there a pink? Yes, Richard. Okay, good. All right, so there we go. So I'll sleep beneath its arches. So as we learned earlier, arches means a part of the bridge. So he's sleeping underneath the bridge. But I would love to hear your interpretation. So Mustafa earlier, let me see if I can find his comment and pin it. Oh gosh, sorry, there's so many comments. All right, let me find. So I'm pinning Mustafa's comment, so I can't read all of your comments. So I just pinned it. So Mustafa wrote, if we consider distance relationships, now and now means his now and her now in the same moment where they speak or connect. An emotional bridge happens. At that moment, you feel like everything is connected as a ring or as a circle, but it can also be romantic. From this comes the arch shape, and they remember each time they go to a bridge, an arch is nearby. So it is philosophical. I agree, Mustafa. Thank you for that interpretation. All right, let me scroll back down the comments. Any other interpretations? Let's see. Oh, Reziar is trying to share his poem. So Sarah thinks it's about laziness. So let me read this poem one more time. So Aditi says, I'll sleep beneath its arches. It means I will always remember you. All right, so let me read this one more time for you guys. The bridge. Between now and now, between I am and you are, the word bridge. Entering it, you enter yourself. The world connects and closes like a ring. From one bank to another, always a body stretched, a rainbow. I'll sleep beneath its arches. I like it too, Sarah. It's a lovely love poem. Oh, June is wanting. That's okay. I take that as a compliment. I think it's okay if people get tired because it's supposed to help you relax. To enter a relationship, don't be lazy, Sarah. Maybe any other interpretations? Okay, so sleep beneath the arches. So Ra, he's saying that he will sleep underneath the bridge. But is he really talking about a real bridge in real life? I don't think so. He's talking about a relationship. So he says, between you and me, there's a bridge. So you can imagine a bridge in a love poem, right? The love is a rainbow bridge, yes. And he calls the bridge a rainbow, or under the same roof. Yes, Sarah, metaphor. So he's saying, I will stay here. Maybe he's saying, oh, maybe it's about separation. Adriana, yeah, like Mustafa said, maybe it's a long distance relationship, but we're connected by a bridge. Maybe he could also say, you know, a rainbow is in the sky. So maybe he says, between you and me, between you and me. Could be wrong. I don't think so for this poem. But there's you, there's me, and there's a bridge. So I will sleep under the same sky with you. It's a really sweet poem about loyalty. All right, so everyone who can speak Spanish, make sure that you let me know if you want to hop on later. So I would love to hear you read it in Spanish. But let's move on to the next poem, okay? Yeah, a bridge connects between one another. All right, so this poem is a little bit more experimental. So the first poem we read was romantic. This poem is experimental. So can somebody write the word experimental for me? Experimental. It's a kind of poetry style. So the first poem was very simple. Yes, Jas, thank you. So good, Lee. So experimental means that this poem is not a love poem. It's a little bit more, you have to think a little bit more when you read this poem, okay? But I think you guys can do it. And I like this poem because there's a lot of really great vocabulary. So take your time and write these words down. Aditi, thank you. Thank you. Aditi wrote your own interpretation. Yes, please ask your question. If I miss your question again, I'm so sorry. Lucas, it is. It's postmodern. I think Octavio Paz, he does consider himself a postmodern poet. That means he was more experimental. Not experiential, experimental. All right? So don't worry, you guys. Put on your thinking caps. All right? Don't worry. We'll go through this poem together. So the Spanish poem, it's called Blanco. Blanco, and this is what it looks like in Spanish. But obviously we're going to read the English version. Somehow they didn't translate the title, but does anybody know, what does Blanco mean in English? Or if you translate this from Spanish to English, what does Blanco mean? Does it mean white? Does anybody know? Yeah, it means white. Got it. White. Or it could be a name. Ooh, Reziar, good point. Maybe, wait, for the Spanish speakers, is Blanco a woman's name? I'm curious. Is Blanco an actual person's name? Zahra, have been and has been? I can't answer that because it's not related to the poem. No? Yes? Some people are saying no. Not Blanco. Oh, it's a male? Okay. In Persian. Oh, it's a name in Persian. That's so cool. I didn't know that. It's a color in French. That's right. It can mean like white. All right. So let's go ahead and read this poem. A stirring, a steering, a seed, asleep, a word at the tip of the tongue, unheard, unhearable, matchless, fertile, barren, ageless, she who is buried with open eyes, ooh, stainless, promiscuous, a word, speechless, nameless. Hi, Jamal. All right. There are a lot of words here that are new for some of you. So don't worry. Let's go over. Yeah, it is vague, but let's go through this slowly. And guys, I want you to think carefully and think, what do you think this poem means? But don't worry if you don't understand now. Yes. So Yasin has a good point. Each word of this poem, it adds another meaning to the poem. It makes a story if you really think about it. Okay. So the first word, a stirring, a stirring. So a stirring is a noun. So it comes from the verb stir. Does anybody know, what does the word stir mean? Stir, stir. When you stir something, when you stir something, it's usually, you stir coffee. So I have a cup here. Let's pretend this is coffee. If I pour sugar and milk into it, I will use a spoon and I will stir. That means to mix. So stir means to mix liquid. Stir is usually for liquid. All right, good. So stir can also be used in another definition. as another definition. So stir can also mean to wake up. So what happens, so if you're sleeping and you wake up, what happens when you start to wake up? You move around, right? You will stir in your bed. You will roll over in your bed. Yes, Reziar. So he tried to only use one word to show his experience. Yes, so when you stir awake, that's actually a phrasal, is it a phrasal verb? It's an expression. I think Natalia knows what it is. It's like a kind of verb that is put with another word, stir awake. So that means that means you wake up slowly. Hi, Fariel. Can you say I'm stirring? Yes, you can say, oh, excuse me. Thank you. I just forgot what I was saying. Yes, please ask your question. I think I missed Jonas's question too. I completely forgot my lesson. Ugh. No, I'm not sick. I just sneeze every day. Ugh. All right, so stir. So can you say I am stirring? No. So when you stir, there has to be an object. No, it's not coronavirus, it's just allergies. I sneeze in the morning. All right, so you can't say I stir. Did I get it? Did it get out with the sneeze? Yes, Nergiz, my memory just left when I sneezed. So you can't just say I stir. There has to be something that comes after stir. So I'm going to give you guys practice. All right, put the word stir in a sentence. I stir, and fill in the blank. I stir what? Oh, okay, no worries, Majidullah. All right, I stir. Hi, Maki. What do you stir, you guys? I stir the egg. Right in the whole sentence. I stir in the milk. I stir to wake up. So, Vish, you can say, I stir awake. Hi, Yusuf. I'm okay, Zahra. Thank you. You want to say, I stir awake. I stir. Yes, good, Richard. You stir in bed. Yes, Reziar, one R, not two R's. Reziar, one R. You add the second R if you add the ED. I stir awake, yes. You can say, I stir my imagination. That means I'm inspired. I stir the tomato sauce. I stood straining my eyes and ears for the faintest stir. Good job. So stir can also mean sound. I'm listening to a stir. I stirred because I saw my son. Yeah, Tim. So you want to be a little bit more specific. You could say, I stirred awake when my son made a loud noise. I stirred awake. That means I woke up when my son made a loud noise. Good, Majidullah. Thank you. I stir my speak. Not quite. Hanadi, you can say, I mix up my speech sometimes. I think I know what you're saying. But stir means you take something and you put something in it and you mix it up. Like I stir my milk into my coffee. So stir, wake up. There is a slight difference. So wake up is just like you're sleeping and you go, oh! you have your eyes closed and then you open your eyes. That's wake up. So when you stir awake, it's like you're sleeping and hear like a noise and you like move around a little bit. It's like you move around and then you slowly wake up. That means you stir awake. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you stir the words in your mind. Yeah, you can use that as a metaphor. So you can say like, sometimes I stir over my memories. You can say, I stir over my memories. So that means I'm mixing the memories in my mind. I'm trying to think about it. You can stir the chocolate into the milk. Yes, Natalia, good example. Natalia said, I stirred all night. I couldn't sleep well. So that means you tossed and turned. Not a good. So stir, that means you moved around in bed. You tossed and stirred. All right, good job, you guys. All right, so now we know stirring. All right. A stirring, a steering, a seed. All right, steering is another word. This is more advanced. But does anybody know what steer means? When you steer something. Steer. It could mean a handle. Yeah, close, Richard. Yes, Zahirul, you stirred awake when your brother sang a song. Not quite accelerate. Okay, so a steer, it's for direction. So when you steer something, it can also be a cow. Let's see. So steer as a verb. It's like you drive. It means to direct. Yeah, so you stir my heart. Good, Marcelo. Yeah, it's someone who decides. Yeah, so it's like you change the direction of something. So like in a car or on a boat. So anything that involves wheels to guide. So this man is steering. He is steering the boat. This woman is steering the car. Yeah, it's a little bit more than management. So I guess you could use steer in management in business, but in just a basic definition, steer just means to drive, but with a wheel. Steer. So you also have a steering wheel. So that's what this is called in the car. This is called a steering wheel. A steering wheel. Hi, Mala. Yeah, we call the thing stern. Oh, so Judith, that must be confusing if the meanings are the same. So a stirring means like a movement back and forth. A steering means to drive forward. Yeah, a handle for moving left and right. So that's actually what this motion is. So when you just describe something as steering, like that's steering, this is steering. I am steering. I am steering the class. I am steering you guys. Steer. Yeah, Roshi just woke up. Okay. All right. And then I think we all know what the word seed and asleep mean. Oh, Mala Ali has the vaccine. That's awesome. All right. I think we all know what seed and asleep means. So these are all images. A word at the tip of the tongue. Okay, this is a great phrase, you guys. I think you guys should all learn this. This is actually a common English expression. What does this mean? At the tip of the tongue. When you have something at the tip of the tongue, not quite. It's not all my heart. Yes, it's both, Paria. It is a kind of handle on a circular motion. Yes, Paria. When you want to remember a word, exactly. Yes, Lucas. So Lucas says it's when you want to say something but you forgot. So it's an idiom. Yeah, Natalia, that's the tongue. Okay, so it's when you say something is at the tip of the tongue, that means you want to remember something but you can't quite remember it. So, for example, let's say Sarah asks me a question. Let's say Sarah says, Sophia, what is a synonym for steering? Let's say Sarah says, what is a synonym for steering? And I don't know. Let's say I don't know, but I don't have Google. I could say, oh gosh, Sarah, I know the word, but it's at the tip of my tongue. The word is at the tip of my tongue. I forgot, right? Or let's say you meet a new friend. And the next day you see them again, but you forgot their name. Let's say you forgot their name, all right? So you can apologize and say, oh, I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. Your name is at the tip of my tongue. Can you please remind me? When you want to say something but it doesn't come back to your mind. Yeah, the tip of your tongue, it means like you might know maybe one letter from that name, or you might know like maybe what it sounds like. Welcome back, Radwan. All right, so again, let's focus on the lesson, you guys. I know you're here to have fun, but it's a little bit distracting if you guys are talking about something that's not related to poetry. I know I'm being a mean teacher right now, but let's pretend that we're actually in a classroom. So, if we're in a classroom, we focus on the lesson. Is that okay? Yes, Kurdistan. We want to say it, but we don't know when we forget it. Exactly. So your homework, you guys, is when you do speaking practice later, and that's okay, no worries. So when you do speaking practice later, when you do a hop-ons with other students, hi Narula, actually use this phrase later. So oftentimes you don't remember a vocabulary word, right? That's common because you're all learning English, right? So instead of saying, I don't remember the word, you can say, ooh, the word is at the tip of my tongue. Can you all practice with me? Write it in the comment, right? Try it, use it in example. The word is at the tip of my tongue. I don't remember it. Good. Good, Amun. Yeah, you're drafting what the poem is communicating. That's good, Yasin. I'm doing well, Nurullah. Thank you. Good, Richard. So Richard has a great example. So Richard said, I have a question for you, but the words are at the tip, one tip. You don't have multiple tips unless you're a snake. Tip of my tongue. The word is at the tip of my tongue. Good job, you guys. Your homework is practice using this phrase later. It makes you sound more advanced. Okay, good. Yeah, your name is at the tip of my tongue. This song is at the tip of my tongue. Good job, you guys. All right, let's keep going. Unheard, unhearable. The name of that teacher, good Lucas. All right, so unheard, that means, it's something that you cannot hear. Unheard. Unhearable, good Natalia. Unhearable, this is not very common, but it is another adjective. That means you cannot hear it. It's not audible. Audible. Let me write this word for you guys. Audible. Audible. So audible is an adjective that means you can hear it. Audible. Thank you, Abdullah. So when it's unhearable, it is inaudible. Inaudible, not audible. All right. Matchless. Ooh, this was a great word. Matchless. Yes, thank you, Vish. What does matchless mean? Unheard. So Zahirul, unheard, that means it's something that you never hear. So, for example, if somebody commits a crime, a really bad crime, you could say, that action is unheard of in this society. So it can mean literally you can't hear, but it can also mean not believable. Like it's so extreme that you cannot even compare this with anybody, with anything else. So yes, so unheard. Ooh, Majid. Majid, does everyone see Majid's comment? Majid is a romantic. Majid said, heard melodies are sweet, but unheard are sweeter. Let me pin that really quickly, you guys, so we can all admire that comment. Thank you, Mala Ali. So heard melodies are sweet, but unheard are sweeter. So what do you think Majid is saying with that comment? He's saying basically like, music that we hear, they're nice, right? Most music is really nice, but the unheard music, like unspoken, it's like, okay, here's an example because I'm a romantic. Let's say Mustafa looks at Majid and Mustafa says, Majid, I love you so much. That's sweet. It's very sweet. But let's say Mustafa, instead of just saying, I love you, let's say Mustafa sends Majid a new car. Let's say Mustafa buys Majid a new car. He doesn't say anything, but Majid wakes up, he goes outside his door, and he just sees a new car and it says from Mustafa. There's no words. That's even sweeter because it's unheard. It's something that you don't have to say, right? You got it, you guys? Okay, so thank you, Majid, for that very poetic example. And then Mustafa says matchless. So good. So matchless means that you can't compare with anybody. So you can say, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo is unmatched. He is matchless. That means there are not many people who are as good as Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So for those of you who are married, Nergis, I'm sorry, Nergis, say that to your husband later. Say, my teacher says heard and unheard melodies. Where are they? Your husband will say, what? Nergis, your husband will say, what are you learning in that class? What crazy teacher is teaching you those weird phrases? Yes, oh, Mustafa, that's super sweet. Majid and Mustafa are now best friends. That's really sweet. Okay, so another example, if you're married, you could say this. You could say, my wife is matchless. Hi, Hema. You could say, my wife or my husband is matchless. That means nobody can compete with them. Matchless, okay? All right, so thanks for that, you guys. Matchless. Unique, exactly. Matchless couple, good. Majid and Mustafa, Fatima, yes. All right, okay, let's keep moving. All right, fertile and barren. These are great words that are opposite to each other. Like nothing, yes, Abdullah. All right, fertile and barren. Yeah, Zuhur. Yeah, it's related to plant. It can also be related to land. All right, so what does fertile mean, you guys? And be careful with the pronunciation. It's pronounced ill. So if you're practicing, say it out loud with me. Fertile. Fertile. Yeah, it means you can't grow plants. You cannot grow agriculture. Yeah, not tip of lip. Reziar, again, you want to say tip of the tongue. Tip of the tongue. Yeah, it also relates to children. So unfortunately, yes, speechless. So fertile, it basically means fertile, unique, Yes, unique means matchless. So match means competition. It can mean competition. So when there's no competition, they're unique. So fertile, it has two definitions. So when you describe a person as fertile, that means they're able to have children. So most of us are fertile. It can be man or woman. That means you're able to produce children. Most animals are fertile, right? That means, but if you're not fertile, that means these are people with special conditions. It doesn't have to do with numbers. Yeah, it's for both genders, exactly. But if you're infertile, that means that you might have a medical condition. Yeah, infertility. Yeah, if you study medicine like Paria, you will know. Oh, fertile. Not fertile, fertile. It's pronounced like turtle. So you guys know the animal turtle? Turtle rhymes with fertile. It's a funny word, actually. Fertile. All right, so if you're infertile, that means you have a medical condition, or for some people, like if you're older, right? A lot of older people are infertile. So when you reach a certain age, for a lot of women, hi Daniel, it's hard. Yeah, ert. So you can, for people who hop on later, I would be happy to practice with you this pronunciation. So yeah, for some people, for women especially, once you reach a certain age, hi Rahat, you become infertile or you become barren. So barren is a very dramatic word. So fertile and infertile. So infertile is kind of a polite way to say that somebody is unable to have children. Yeah, so women are usually fertile to 45. It's usually when they hit menopause. But barren is a very negative. So when you don't call a woman barren. If you call a woman barren, that's like saying, like, she's an old lady and she will die alone. That means barren. Barren is very depressing. Thank you, Rahat. So that's one definition. You can describe a person as fertile or infertile. You can also describe land. So farmers, so people who grow crops, who grow plants, they can also describe their land. Exactly, Sarah. So you can describe a desert. A desert is usually barren. So a place where there's not many plants, that is barren. Or maybe during the summer, during the really hot season when there's no rain, you can say, oh no, my farm is barren during a drought. So not roasting. So Gulistan, roasting is specific to fire. So roasting means burning. So after the farm is burned down, sterile. After the farm is burned down, then it is barren. So Kareem says sterile is similar. So sterile is something different. Sterile means that there's no germs. It means completely clean. Oh, sure, Rahat. I will check it later. Is that okay? Is that okay, Rahat? That's cool. I didn't know that. So, all right. So that's the difference: fertile and barren. Okay. All right. Ageless. I think we all know what this means. Ageless means it's forever young. It never grows old. And this line, ageless again, Roshni, it means there's no age. Like panda is ageless. He will never grow old. Ageless. All right. Perennial. Inevitable? No. I think, okay. Reziar, the word is at the tip of my tongue. It's not, it means immortal. Immortal. So Andresa says, I'm ageless. Immortal, can somebody write the word immortal? That's another good vocabulary word. Immortal. Good, Jas. Good, Kareem. Immortal means ageless. Okay. Oh, thanks, everybody. And again, I'm really sorry with the comments. There's 250 people, so I cannot address every comment. So, Yusuf, it's Immortal. Kamran wrote it well. So, Yassine, good question. I would love for you to see if you can interpret why this poem is written this way. And unviable? Yeah, similar, Reziar. Similar. Okay, it just, unviable means not possible, if that makes sense. Okay. But this line is kind of creepy. She who was buried with open eyes. What do you think that means? She who is buried with open eyes. So what does buried mean? Buried. Can anybody put the coffin? Yeah, she was buried alive. So when you die, if you don't believe in cremation, bury is when you put something underground. So For example, it doesn't have to be just for death, but you can say like a dog can bury the bone. Oh. All right, so dogs like to bury their bones. You see that? So bury is this action of making a hole in the ground and putting something in the ground and covering it back again. So it can also mean to express disappointment. Oh, Esther's here. Hi, Esther. Okay, so yeah, but in this case, it's about a body, a buried truth. Yes, Yassine. But in this case, it says, she who is buried with open eyes. Ooh, that's so scary. That means her eyes are open. Oh my gosh. All right. Stainless, promiscuous. All right, these are opposite words. Hi, Alex. All right, what do you think this means? Stainless. She had a harsh life. Yeah, Dove, you might be right. What is the difference between stainless and promiscuous? Yeah, stainless means spotless. Stainless. So a stain is something that, oh, Serhat, thank you so much. It's like a coffee stain. So a stain is when like a liquid dries on a material. Yes, Paria. There's like a liquid that dries on material, so you can have like a blood stain on a clothing, or like a coffee stain or ice cream. That's a stain. So when something is stainless, that means they're completely clean, dirtless, with no marks. All right, what does promiscuous mean? This is an advanced word. Promiscuous. Promiscuous girl. Promiscuous. It's an adjective. Promiscuous. Any guesses? I think everyone's Googling. Oh my gosh. Somebody just donated so much. Serhat. Thank you, Serhat. Thank you. I just noticed how much you donated. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. Thank you. All right. So promiscuous. Yeah. So it means sinful. So stainless means sinless. So promiscuous, it means somebody who, not perverse, it means, and sorry, I'm missing so many comments, but promiscuous means it's a personality trait where you take a lot of risks. Yes, it's about the word that starts with the letter S. It's a bad word. I don't think I can say it on Hallow. But it's basically a person, it doesn't have to be a woman, it can be men. Men can be promiscuous too. It doesn't matter what your gender is. But promiscuous means a person, not to analyze. Promiscuous is a person who likes to flirt a lot. Promiscuous, yes, Kareem found another way to spell it. Thank you, Serha. I really appreciate it. So promiscuous is a person who likes to flirt. Unfaithful, yes. Kind of like, yes, Paria. I don't like saying that word out loud, but yes, it's like that. It can be men or women. So basically somebody who's not careful with their body. I mean, I don't like to judge people. It's your life. If you are a promiscuous man or if you're a promiscuous woman, that's okay. Just be safe, Make sure you're safe. You don't want any accidental babies, if you know what I mean. So if you're promiscuous, you might get pregnant very easily. Does that make sense? So watch out. If you learn anything from this class, be safe, don't be promiscuous, okay? So it's really interesting that they put both words. So it's describing this woman, she who is buried with open eyes, stainless, promiscuous. So Majidul, again, ageless means you don't get older, you're always young. So it's interesting that the poet put, yes, Nergis, that's definitely an 18 plus class. So if there's children here, don't worry, just don't think about this. You're always young. So this woman, we don't know. She could be fertile, she could be barren, she could be stainless, like she could be like an angel, or she could be promiscuous. We don't know. A word, speechless, nameless. She has no name. She has no voice. All right. So thank you all for reading this poem. I know this was a hard poem to read. Yes, good, Natalia. That means no sin, stainless reputation. So let me read this poem again one more time. And as I read this poem, I want you guys to write, yes, June. I want you guys to write in the comments, what do you think is the overall meaning of this poem? Excuse me. So Reziar asked a good question. Why do you think the poet used all of these opposite words? Think about it, okay, you guys? All right, so again, the title of the poem is Blanco. A stirring, a steering, a seed, asleep, a word at the tip of the tongue, unheard, unbearable, matchless, fertile, barren, ageless, she who was buried with open eyes, stainless, promiscuous, a word, speechless, nameless. And by the way, Team Panda, if you're a subscriber, I will take screenshots of these poems and I will post these poems in our group chat so we can talk about this later. But I'm just curious, you guys, what do you think this poem means? And again, there's no wrong answer. The beautiful thing about poetry is that it's really up to your interpretation. Yes, Mary. Thank you, June, again. All right, so what do you think this poem means? What do you think this poem means, you guys? What do you think this poem means? Isn't it about life? Yeah, Nergis. How so? Can you say a little bit more? Kareem, so Kareem thinks it's describing a confusion on some part of an incident. Thank you, Sarhat. That's really sweet. Thank you. So Dove, let me pin your comment. Oops, Akash, wrong comment. Sorry. The comment moved too fast. I pinned the wrong comment. Sorry. I'm trying to pin Dove's comment. Okay, good. All right. Thanks, you guys. So Richard said someone who can't control their life. Yeah. So I really appreciate Dove's comment. So everybody read Dove's comment. She says, I guess it's, so don't forget the apostrophe. I guess IT apostrophe S. I guess it's about women who suffered a lot during her life, period. She was judged by her age and her reputation. So judged, so not the J, the middle J. So Dove, replace it with the G. Judged. Reputation. And reputation is reputation. Good interpretation. So Dove thinks that this is about what a specific woman, or maybe overall woman, who they can be fertile, they can be barren, they can be ageless. That means they have no age, or they can be very old. They can also be stainless like an angel, or they can be promiscuous. But in the end, they just don't want to be judged. And that's really interesting. Thank you, Dove, for your interpretation. All right, so one more question, you guys. One more question. Somebody, I think it was Reziar, who asked this question. Why do you think this poem is written in this style? Why is the poem written in this strange style? What is the purpose of writing the words like this? Like, why didn't he just write stirring, comma, steering, comma, seed, comma? Why do you think he wrote this whole poem like this? Yeah. Oh, Yassine, that was your question. Sorry, Yassine. I mixed up Yassine and Reziar. I'm so sorry. That's okay. Try to guess. Oh, Adriana. So Adriana says it creates different emotions. Yeah. So if you have fertile and barren, pauses. Ooh, Natalia. Natalia, are you a poet? So Natalia thinks about the title of the poem. The title of the poem is Blanco, which means white. So it's like space between ideas. Kareem, it draws attention to hidden. So maybe there are invisible words. Aww. Somebody wrote, Gulnoza says, maybe these words describe tears. The tears are falling down. Like when you cry, the tears are individual. Yes, Nergis, I agree as well. Thank you, guys. This is awesome. So Zakia is asking a good question. I wonder, what is the situation of the poet when he wrote this poem? What is the historical background? Really great question. Oftentimes poets, as an artist, I relate. Actually, artists, we hate to explain the background to the poem. So you have to kind of guess it yourself. It's kind of like, when you listen to a love song, or like a heartbreak song, usually the like Adele or Whitney Houston, they don't say why they wrote that song. They just sing it and you kind of have to guess, who broke their heart for them to write that song. And that's what makes it so beautiful. All right, so I did get a hop on request, but I wanted to do one more poem, and it's going to be unique because I'm actually going to let Octavio Paz read the poem. It's also a very long poem, so we'll only look at the first few lines, okay?